the group to make sure we are live. Okay, it's saying that we are live, but I don't see it. There we are. We are in the group. Let's give him some of this, Dr. Leona. Woohoo!
Yes.
We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. I'm sorry. Sorry, gentlemen. There are no gentlemen in this group, but we are live in Deeper Women Lead, and I am so excited about our next guest, this friend of Deeper Women Lead, Dr. Leona Allen. She is a chiropractor. She is the founder and CEO of Freedom Health Systems. She is a coach. She is a speaker. She is an author. She is my friend. So before we jump in here, I'm going to first, if you don't know who I am, I've been doing these interviews for about a week and a half now, so you guys should be familiar. But I am Dr. Barbara Sweeney, your life and holistic leadership coach and coach trainer. I'm the founder and CEO of the Deeper Leader Institute for Personal and Professional Development, where true leadership starts with self-leadership. And that's exactly where we start at the Deeper Leader Institute. We start with you. We coach, train, and certify leaders who are looking to become more effective leaders in their roles, in their current roles, or looking to launch their own life and leadership coaching businesses. I'm also the founder and CEO of Deeper Women Lead Global and creator of the Deeper Women Lead brand. I am super excited to spend this time with Dr. Leona tonight. If you have not registered for Deeper Women Lead Atlanta so that you can experience Dr. Leona, please go to deeperwomenleadglobal.org. Take advantage of the early bird registration and meet us at the Sheridan Galleria Suites on March 19th so that you can experience Dr. Leona. Before we jump in here with Dr. Leona, because she's going to tell us all about herself and who she is, where she come from, and where she's going, I want to give you just a bit of history around Deeper Women Lead. Deeper Women Lead was established as a platform for women in leadership to share their stories and strategies for life, love, and leadership for other women or to other women who lead. It started with this little book, this small book that was stuck in my head that was actually started as an article. As I wrote the book and as I was going through the book, it actually unlocked some things in me. So I did not want to simply publish a book. I wanted to create a way that I can have other women like me, women going through life-changing events, and women in leadership who had to go through those events while they were leading. I wanted them to have a place to come to share their stories, not just sit in their stories and share their stories, but provide strategies for women, professional women in leadership, to help them unlock into or unfold into who they truly are. So back in 2018, we had 4 women who graced the Deeper Women Lead stage and catapulted, or what they were the catalyst for what is now Deeper Women Lead. And I'm excited that Dr. Leona Allen has been on the Deeper Women Lead stage. She was a speaker at the Deeper Women Lead virtual event back in COVID, actually, back during COVID. She is also one of the co-authors for Deeper Women Teach, stories and strategies for life, love, and leadership from women who lead. So I am going to be quiet and welcome to the stage my friend, a friend of Deeper Women Lead, Dr. Leona Allen.
Hello, Dr. Barbara, and thank you for everyone that's listening. It's an honor to be here again on this platform. It is definitely an honor. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Dr. Leona, like I said earlier, you are a friend of the Deeper Women Lead stage. You've graced the Deeper Women Lead stage not one time, not two times. Now this will be your third time. What intrigued you this time? Why do you keep coming back, Dr. Leona?
I just love aligning myself with purpose. I
Mm,
love just like minded women and being on the same page. And it's not only about empowering others, it also empowers ourselves. You know,
mhm.
we become stronger, we become more confident, and it's helping with our leadership skills. So not only is it a benefit for, being able to, talk to other women and meet other women, it's also connecting with like minded women, deeper women, because it's all about community. It's all about support. It's all about the love that we share. So I just love your stage. I just love this project. I love what you're doing. And how can I not be a part of it? It's amazing. It's like, all you have to do is say, would you? And I'm like, yes, I don't even have
Yes.
to know what's going on. If you're a part of it, I know what you represent, and I'm glad to be a part of it because
Wow.
it's just
Thank you.
all
Thank you so
positive.
much. Thank you so much. You are indeed a deeper woman, and you are indeed empowering other women to really operate in their authentic selves. So thank you so much again for joining us. Dr. Leona, like you, I was a prisoner of my story, of my own story. And I have gotten free from my story. I've healed from my story, and so have you. But there's so many women out there who are still prisoners of their stories. What would you tell women, particularly women in leadership who are living under the facade of leadership, kind of protected by their roles? What would you tell women who have a story, who really need to tell their story, but really just don't know how to couch it?
I think it really starts with accepting where we are and accepting how we get there, no matter how, hard it has been. We have to have grace. We have to be able to love ourselves no matter what. And I think a lot of that comes from, I think it's programmed in us. We're
Mhm.
raised since birth to act, to play a role. This is how you act in school. This is how you act at work. So I think a lot of it comes from not knowing who we are. And then we realize that there's something more. That's where that frustration comes in. That's where that the hiding comes in because we're confused. Like we're told to act this way, but I really feel this way. And I think when we become honest with that and actually share it, that's when the healing begins. But first, we got to be able to tell ourselves what's going on and be honest. And then, with that story and being clear with what we really understand within ourselves, then we were able to share that with other women. Because a lot of women think we're alone in this thing. But when we share, it helps another woman realize, oh my goodness, we all go through this. We're all hurting in some kind of way. So I think that's what we're not really taught that when we grow up. We're taught to have this facade.
You are exactly right, Dr. Leona. And as we are, in these positions, we do kind of encapsulate ourselves in the image of the position. I know that there were times when I really thought, at the heart of it, I was a good person. I really thought that I was being transparent and I was telling my story, but not always from an honest place. I was telling the story, but I wasn't letting them. Here it is. I was telling the story, but I wasn't healing from the story. So, how do you help women align the two? You tell the story, you're being transparent, and you're being honest with them, but you're also being honest with yourself.
I think that comes a lot with trying to tell people what we think they want to hear. We want to tell people in a way that doesn't affect them,
That's
or we're trying to tell them in a way that impresses them.
that's
But I
good.
really think we need to learn to be honest no matter what.
That's
You know,
good.
don't sugarcoat it. Don't try to impress anybody. Just be true, be honest. I think people appreciate true honesty and
Mhm.
not the facade that we tend to do,
That's
that we
good.
tend to present.
That's good. Dr. Leona, can you talk about a time when you had to have that drop dead honest moment with yourself, a pivotal moment in your life? I'm a little I have a little inside knowledge as I got to know your story intimately as we wrote the book Deeper Women Teach. But what were some of those pivotal moments for you?
I think the biggest pivotal moment for me was about 10 years ago at 40 years old. I looked in the mirror. You know, here I am, educated, very intelligent. you know,
Mhm.
I felt like looking outside, looking in. I had it going on. I had my own business. But I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw. I was overweight. I was unhappy. I was struggling with a lot of things, struggling with my relationships, struggling with the younger children. I had my kids at 36 and 40. And I think it was at that moment where I said, you know, enough is enough.
Mhm.
And I had to really look at the ugly side of everything. You know, we try to cover it up, but I guess at a certain point, you can't cover it anymore because all my hurt was starting to show in the outside as health issues. And I think a lot of those health issues come from unresolved emotions. So my stress, my hurt turned into obesity, it turned into prediabetes, it turned into liver disease. And I looked in the mirror and I said, you know what? I can't do this. Something has to change. Everything I have done to this point has not worked. And I had to be
Mhm.
okay with that and learn the lessons from that and being able to go through that struggle and see the ugly and stop masking it before I was able to go to the other side. Because I think a lot of times when we're healing, we're trying to avoid it. We don't want to be in pain. What do? Take a pain pill. You know, we want
Mm.
to mask it, we want to cover it. But sometimes we're not told this. Sometimes healing hurts. You know,
Yes.
sometimes leadership hurts. Sometimes owning it hurts.
Yes.
And that's where that growth comes from. It comes from the pain, pain to power.
That
And
was very
that's
interesting
true.
that you said some of our health issues, some of that stuff comes from our toxic thinking.
Yes.
Dr. Caroline Leaf, who's a neuropsychologist, said that 75 to 90% of the health issues we face come from toxic thinking. When I read that, that was so powerful to me because I was wondering what are some things that we are causing ourselves. Like, what are we thinking? And how can we change that thinking? Dr. Leona, what were some of the things you did to shift? You got tired of yourself. You were in this moment, and most of us have had this moment, but some people never wake up from the moment.
Mhm.
How uh, how did you shift your thought process, your thinking during that time?
It happened in phases. I was actually telling a client the other day, it was like from my 30s to my 40s, it was more the physical, what I can control. I can control what I eat. I can control what I do. I can hide what I can hide. I can mask what I can mask. And then but that didn't work. It stopped. And then from 40 to 50 was more the emotional. It was about my thoughts. It was about being honest with myself. Because when you're in that negative, hiding, depressed state, you're going to act upon that. If you're feeling sad, you're going to have sad actions. If you're feeling angry, you're going to have angry actions. So, you know, it was like I had to get in touch with that emotional side because as I became more honest with myself and more loving to myself and forgiving myself, those actions followed. So, and then as now I just turned 50 last year, and
Yeah.
that's more that spiritual, having more faith in the process. So it's a journey. And I think we try to hold on like, no, I want this life. I want to be what it was like when I was 20, 30. But we got to learn to just grow and evolve because it changes. Because how I felt and feel in 30 is totally different now. And it's okay. That's called growth, that's called healing.
I
So,
saw that you posted the other day a video of yourself just kind of embracing the aging process. As I turn 50 and next weekend,
oh,
um, I've found myself having to do some of the same thing, like literally stand in the mirror. Yes, you look older than you did when you were 30.
mhm.
Yes, you look mature. There would be something wrong if you didn't. But I think we live in such a TikTok, Instagram age um, where we're looking at people with carefully crafted content, and we're comparing ourselves even subconsciously to some of those images. And I know you work with a lot of women um, around weight, which is connected to self-image. How do
Mhm.
you help women break free of that? How do you help them um, be, in this toxic relationship sometimes that we have with self-image?
Whew. I think a lot of it has to do with how we talk to ourselves. That's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing. We got to realize that we can't be, just accept that we're not Instagram models. We're not, and all that is, again, that's a cover up too. That's
Yes.
filters.
Yes.
It's just another level of what we all do to ourselves before we had, being almost 50, we lived in a time where we didn't have all that stuff to really
Yes.
impact how we see. So we also have to relate to how things are today. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it is a lot harder because of the filters and the TikTok and the Instagram and everything we see. So that's why we have to be grounded in ourselves and who we are and be realistic with our expectations. Because I'm glad you brought up the aging gracefully. I
Yes.
remember just looking in the mirror with my sons and I was like, I really look like a mom, I had to,
Right.
I was just, you just look in the mirror. So instead of me just saying, I look older, I'm seeing some changes in my
Yes.
skin,
Mm-hmm.
I had to be okay with that
Yes.
because of, it was a mindset. So, I don't get caught up in the physical stuff. It's about
Mm-hmm.
how I feel inside because even though I'm aging, I'm still going to continue to take care of myself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still going to love myself despite the changes, whether they're good or not. It's just
Right.
part of the grace. That's grace. We
That's
just need
great.
to have more grace in our lives.
That's good. That's good. I see those books behind you, peeking from behind you. Man, you've been really busy. I know that red and white one that was very familiar for me to me. That is the Deeper Women Teach book that we co-authored along with 7 other powerful women. But that book in the middle, you've been quite busy since our last project, I believe. As we worked on the anthology, you were also working on another project. Do you want to tell people about your book?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Freedom in Chains. I'll go ahead and grab it here. Yeah, I was working on this book at the same time we were working on your project. So again, when you said yes, I was like, I'll make it work. I got
Right.
another project I'm working on. I'm gonna make I'm gonna be a part of this. So this book was released on my 50th birthday, Freedom in Chains. And with the pandemic is really what encouraged me to write this book because I had time to sit with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Things really got quiet and I had me to keep me company. It was my thoughts, my past, and it really surfaced to the point where I ended up writing this book, which is more about where my first book, A Journey of Healing, was more about my physical and emotional healing. This book came about with more of my spiritual healing and
Mm-hmm.
letting go of those lies, aka chains that I had that I worn for many years, and just being able to use truth to let those chains, to set those chains free, to break those chains.
Very good. I know, Dr. Leona, you are a chiropractor by trade. How has your personal healing and spiritual journey impacted your practice?
The impact. What pops in my head when you say that is really being open and authentic. Because when I think about the clients that come to me, they already know what I've gone through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that and the being able to understand what they're going through allows me to help them because I've been there. I can relate. I understand. So they feel comfortable telling me what they really feel, the things that they've been hiding and the things that they've been masking, and having that confidence of being able to heal from that because they've seen it. They've seen an example of that. So we need more examples of healing. I don't think we get enough of that. And that kind of answers that first question, why Deeper Women, this project that you have is so important
Mm-hmm.
because it shows what's possible. I wish I had this,
Mm-hmm.
something like this going on when I was growing up and going through these types of things because we didn't have these type of examples. It was always hidden. It was
Yeah.
always behind closed doors, but actually seeing it is really what's very important. I think that plays a role in the success that I see in my practice, because
Yeah.
everybody has a place to safely let that go so they can heal.
Absolutely. And being really okay. I know we hear this a lot, being okay with not being okay. One of my employees walked into my office one day and she asked, Dr. Sweeney, do you mind if I leave early? I need to go and pick up my child because my husband has decided that he no longer wants to be a part of the family. That was some heavy news. And she stood there so matter of factly. And I said, if you don't sit down and process what's happening, this is not going to leave on your ride home. You have to really take the time. And like you said, we don't have a lot of pictures of people kind of healing out loud. And
Yes.
of course, in your leadership, when you're leading your family, you're leading your business, you're leading in an organization, you don't get to hide and heal. You have to do it really out loud, and having good examples, a good place to go, which is why we started Deeper Women Lead, a good place to go, so that you can go under the underbelly of really what's happening and what's going on in your life. You mentioned COVID a bit. What do you think? What is happening since COVID? I know for COVID, it uncovered a lot for me. It unveiled, I always say what COVID uncovered. It unveiled a lot. When you're working with your clients, what have you seen that's different in their leadership today as opposed to before COVID?
One of the things with COVID is learning to expect the unexpected and
Mhm.
how we're able to deal with that. Because I remember before this all happened, everybody had their plans. I'm gonna do this by this certain date. I'm gonna travel. I'm gonna do this workshop.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do this live. All these things got changed. And, we had to learn to, this is actually a chapter in my book, learning to expect the unexpected. And then not being able to do that exposes a lot of, um, it may not be related, but not only just expecting the unexpected, but what I also see in my patients is a lot of the weak links have been exposed as well. So
Mm.
it was like we were forced to see what we had to see. We were forced to see how we deal with loss, how we deal with the unexpected,
Mhm.
how we deal with uncertainty, how
Yeah.
strong is our faith. So a lot of that came into play. So actually, in the past couple of years, the way my practice has changed, the reasons why people come in have really changed.
Oh,
So
wow.
I've seen a lot of differences in how we deal with the need to heal, and what we need, how to approach it. Because a lot of people were never faced with it
That's right.
before.
And we talked about kind of this social media world that we live in right now. There's a whole lot of hashtags, stay woke, and a lot of us are not really awake. But we know that something needs to be different. We know that there is a call to something greater, something wider than ourselves. When you're with your women or with your clients, I know that we always have to get to that place of identity and helping people connect to their identity, which is strongly connected to purpose. What are some practical steps that you can give people to get started on this journey?
Really, to get started is, self forgiveness.
Mm,
I feel like nothing can change until we learn to forgive the things we've done, forgive the things we haven't done, forgive the mistakes we've made, forgive the choices we made, because where we are today is an accumulation of all of our choices and all of our relationships.
right.
So it's like a GPS. Before you can heal and go somewhere else, we got to know where we're at and be clear with it.
That's good.
We can't just be in this place of turmoil and close our eyes and just say, I'm at a beach, just pretend we're somewhere else. We can't do that. We got to look at where we're at. And then we got to say, okay, there's something torn up here. There's a missing part there. And I think the biggest advice is you can't do it all at once. I
Yes.
think we're all or none. We
Yeah.
think we can hit a magic wand and say,
Mhm.
oh, everything's okay. But
Yes.
it's like, no, we have to prioritize. What should I fix first? And
Mhm.
then, okay, we'll fix that leg on the chair. Okay, we'll fix that paint. We have to fix what we can fix. And sometimes it starts with the physical changes and
Mhm.
then it does evolve. So I think people just get stuck in finding something that fixes everything.
Yeah,
But we really got to be forgiving and just try to fix the pieces one piece at a time, one
that's
step
good.
at a time.
That's good. You know, I found that forgiveness is so tricky because people attach forgiveness to feelings,
Mhm.
and you say that you forgive somebody, but I still get all of these negative, horrible feelings when I think about them. And I always talk to my clients when we're talking about forgiveness. I talk about uh, the feelings are really where the healing has to take place. It's almost like when you get shot. Well, not when you get shot. It's not like we are just coming going around getting shot. But if you were shot and we remove the bullet is removed. That would be the forgiveness. That would be the decision to, I'm going to forgive this person, place, thing, or entity. But the wound is still there. And a lot of the perpetual hurt that we are feeling is because we've forgiven, but we haven't healed, and other people are bumping up against our wounds. And we always say hurt people hurt people. When you begin to operate in forgiveness and you forgive yourself, you start to realize that you were once one of those people who also hurt. Because if you don't pull the thing up by the root, if you don't get to the bottom of what's going on, then you will just become a perpetual victim of unforgiveness, really. So,
Mhm.
Dr. Leona, you're an author, you're a chiropractor, you are a coach, you are the owner of a business. What is next for you? You're rewriting your story. What's the next deeper leap that you will take?
To be honest, I have lots of, I'm actually going to work on my next book in the near future. I do have another book in my mind. But again, I practice what I preach. I'm using grace because, it's like sometimes we have a hard time setting these deadlines. But even though that's important, this book that I'm writing is going to take more grace. And I have to really listen to God. It's really about following his plan and what he has for me. Because sometimes my plans don't align with his plans, but I'm really working on aligning the two, and that's what's next for me. So I do have some projects coming up, but it's really about aligning it with the plan that God has for me.
Love it, love it, love it. Dr. Leona, my friend, a friend of the Deeper Women Lead stage. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Listen, ladies, if you have not registered for Deeper Women Lead Atlanta, jump over to deeperwomenleadglobal.org. Take advantage of the early registration. It will not last forever. We have about 5 or 6 more days, and then it's going to be full price. So jump over there, deeperwomenleadglobal.org. Register for the conference, reserve your seat. You do not want to miss Dr. Leona and all of the other powerful speakers. I'm just over myself, so excited with the speakers that are going to be presented. You're going to be engaging in some transformational thinking, healing, and leading. So jump over there, get your ticket, and we want to see you there on March 19th. And with that, I'm sad to say that we have to tell Dr. Leona good night. Thank you so much, Dr. Leona. We love you. We appreciate what you bring to the stage, and we cannot wait to get empowered, re-empowered with you. Right.